What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to a TGI Raiders Friday Live with True Raider Podcast. Let's give some shout outs to everybody who's already up in the room. Hit list, drop to that like. I appreciate it, man. And as always, Raiders! Chris, what's going on, man? What it is, Raider Nation? Whoa, got some weird things going on. Let me see who else is up in here. My 2 cents, TGIF Raider Nation. Salute, man. Salute. Glad you're here. All right, man. What's going on? What's going on? So there's some interesting things going on. If you guys saw the thumbnail before, I kind of ended up changing it last minute because AP went on and he did a presser today. And, that presser, there was some interesting things that got mentioned, right? He seemed really pumped up about things like Aiden O'Connell, right? And I want to talk about that real quick. So Aiden O'Connell, the way that he said it is Aiden has grabbed the bull by the horns, right? And he was talking about like the things that Aiden O'Connell has done so far in the offseason, just changing his body, just really studying. He's in the building every day, putting in that work, right? And I know that there's been a lot of back and forth talking about, is it going to be Aiden O'Connell? Is it going to be Gardner Minshew? And what we're really looking at here is he said that Aiden has earned the right to that first snap. Now, I don't necessarily think that means that he's exactly going to be the starter, right? But when he said it that way, right? Antonio Pierce said this, it really gives the impression that he's looking at Aiden O'Connell as being that guy still. And that's, he did mention Gardner Minshew and that basically Aiden is out there, he's got the bull by the horns and he's really, being that leader, and then Minshew's right behind him. Which is really good to hear. And I'm sure it's good to see. But, what does that tell you guys? What I'm hearing is that Aiden O'Connell still has the job and that he's really stepped his game up, right? And that's really what we want to see, because if Aiden O'Connell does not go ahead and step his game up, Gardner Minshew is going to come in and snag it, Chris, man, it's AOC 12 job to lose, and that's exactly it, right? And that's what got said before. So this isn't any kind of breaking news. This isn't this brand new thing that came up and it's a shocker. It's more of just solidifying, what he had already said. Now, I don't really know too much about what's actually happened so far in the building as far as Antonio Pierce having that opinion right now, but I have been watching a lot of tape on both these quarterbacks, right? And like if you guys don't follow Raider Alex, go check him out. I don't know him personally. I just I watch a lot of his videos, man. And he did a breakdown of Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. And it wasn't like as in depth as I really, really want to see, because I want to see even more, right? But he was talking about the pros and cons of each quarterback, and some of the things that really stood out to me is that, like, really, I mean, Aiden O'Connell's got a better deep ball and he's got better accuracy, right? And then Gardner Minshew, he has more scramble abilities. He's got more scramble drill stuff. He's got more running capabilities. And so I think that his mobility is really his strong point, whereas Aiden O'Connell, that's not really a strong point of his. But both of the guys, they were pretty similar when it came to picks. They were pretty similar when it came to um which, oh, sorry, hold on. I got a message from my wife real quick. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Sorry about that. So yeah, that really, I think that what people are really liking out of Gardner Minshew is just the idea of him having that scramble ability, him being able to be a little bit more mobile as a quarterback, not one of those running quarterbacks, but a mobile quarterback, which is something that, people have been shouting for, for years now. And we really haven't had that, but being able to watch Aiden O'Connell and just a lot of his tape breakdown, it showed a lot of really, really good things, right? And I've been seeing a lot of social media stuff about Aiden O'Connell lately where, the reasons why he got thrown into a good situation and why, he's already proven to us that he's not that guy, but like really because he didn't have those starting reps and he really didn't have like a lot of things. Like, one of the arguments that they made was that he got thrown in halfway through the season, And so he already had enough time and practice to develop and get to NFL speed. And that would be true if he was getting starting reps. Now, because he wasn't getting those starting reps, I don't really think it puts him in a position at to where he's in an advantage, because he got thrown in when we had a coach change. There was a change in offensive coordinator. We had Bo Hardegree calling plays, and he really had no experience doing it. And they basically took Josh McDaniel's playbook, scrapped most of it, and then just were like trying to work off of some of it. And so we didn't really have an experienced offensive coordinator that had his own scheme and all of those kind of things. So I really think that that puts a person in position where they're not going to really succeed. Nav man, they always told me you're only late to your first one, right? I think that they were talking about recovery meetings, but glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. Glad you made it. Let's see. We finally have QB competition. We have not had that since Carr was a rookie. And like Aiden O'Connell was talking about that, where we have competition at every single level, right? And that's something he even pointed out. Like when you see competition in the quarterback room, like that puts everybody else on notice, right? Where nobody gets to, how did he say it? Like nobody gets to have a bad day, right? There are no bad days. It's you show up and you perform. And I really like that about our roster right now, because when you have that kind of pressure, yes, some people are going to not do very well under that kind of pressure, but some people are really going to thrive in that pressure. I know that he's an example of somebody who really thrived in that kind of pressure, and he went from a UDFA to a star linebacker who won a Super Bowl against the Patriots and ruined their perfect season, which that made me happy for sure. California Dave, AOC has a cannon for an arm. AP loves him, and so do I. Like Aiden O'Connell, I'm not gonna sit here and try to say that I think he's gonna be a superstar. He's gonna be a top 5 or 10 quarterback. I don't think he's gonna be a Hall of Famer, all those things. But like honestly, right now, I think it's a little too soon to tell, right? I've seen a lot of comparisons of his rookie numbers versus other quarterbacks' rookie numbers, and really it comes out in the wash that like he didn't really have an awful season considering, and some of his really bad numbers came from that first game against the Chargers, where he was kind of thrown out to the Wolves. And, he got sacked by Khalil Mack 6 times. I think he had gotten like 8 sacks total that game. And then also he threw some picks, so it really threw off his numbers. Whereas, like, I think it was like the last 5 games, correct me if I'm wrong, where like the numbers really showed out that he had really cleaned that up. He had only thrown 1 pick in those last 5 games, compared to 9 touchdowns. And I really think that he's putting in that work in the offseason, and if he continues that trajectory, I really think that he's going to show out and he's going to win that job. I've been back and forth, and I've told you guys it's day by day for me. One day I'm Aiden O'Connell's going to win it. The other day, next day I'm Gardner Minshew's going to get it. But like really lately, it's been kind of more Aiden O'Connell, Aiden O'Connell, Aiden O'Connell. And honestly, at this moment, I think he's going to win the job. Now, that could change, and I love when people are open to changing their opinion, because you get new information and then you can change your opinion accordingly. Let's see. Yeah, I think you're meaning Jimmy G, right? Jimmy Glass was given the job without really any kind of QB battle. He got thrown in there with rookie Aiden O'Connell and Brian Hoyer, right? And I don't think that there was any chance that there was going to be anybody else starting besides Jimmy G. And I don't like to see that kind of stuff. What I like to see is when, you know, like even if somebody has the job, like I want that guy to have competition, like I want there to be somebody that's giving our top players competition at every moment, because if we have competition all the way up to the top, I mean that just iron sharpens iron, right? Let's see. AP has made it very clear on his presser that AOC has earned his chance at the first snap if he continues to improve. And like he was saying in the presser, man, he's come in, he's put in the work, he's changed his body, he's studying, he's doing all the right things, right? He's showing leadership qualities. I think he's being you know one of the things that AP asked was for him to be more vocal, right? And so if he is smart, he is utilizing that. Now, AP didn't talk about if he's being vocal or not, but he did talk about like basically he's taking the bull by the horns, and he's showing those leadership qualities. and I don't think that AP is going to say that if Aiden O'Connell didn't go ahead and step up his game as far as that goes. Let's see. Um, yes, Christopher Rader smashed them likes, man. Let's get in the algorithm. We only got 12 people in the room. I'm not heard about it, man. I know that it's a weird time for some people, and some people like this time. I'm going to try to continue going live every week at the same time. I'll sprinkle in a couple other lives here and there, but this is going to be the definite consistent one for now. And I know that Raiders Report Mitchell Renz is going to go live in about 50 minutes. So I only plan on being on until then because, I know a lot of people are going to want to jump over and I'm going to want to listen to it as well. Also, my daughter has a basketball game, and so I gotta get her over to that as well. So we'll be on for about another 45-50 minutes, maybe an hour. We'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, man, AP wants battles at all positions, and he said that in the presser, and I really like that because you know, I like what we have going on with this new regime, right? I really think that it's headed in a good direction. I really think that the culture has changed in a very positive way, and really, I mean, I think that that culture is going to be one of the biggest pieces in this team's success because we don't have that superstar quarterback, right? But when we have players that are really bought in, right? We have a good locker room culture. I think it puts everybody in a position to thrive. And I really think that the quarterbacks that we have are actually going to do pretty good just because everybody is so bought in and amped up for what's going on right now. Let's see. Oh, man. Thank you, Nav. Man, I appreciate that. He said, please pass the word. California Dave, this is a very objective podcast, and he addresses nearly every question on from objective points. Thank you, Nav, man. I appreciate that. And that's one of the advantages of being a smaller channel is it's easier to get in all the as many of the comments as I can because I see some of these guys that have, 1,000 or a couple thousand people in the live stream, and it's that's really hard to keep up with those comments. People are in a position where you have to put a super chat to get your comment talked about, and that's a difficult position. I really like the guys that kind of are able to mix it up a little bit more, and it's like you don't necessarily have to pay to get your stuff read, and I really like that. He wants the water people to battle. That's right, man. There should be a battle, man, all the way through. I know for me, man, if I had an opportunity to go work for the Las Vegas Raiders, I'd be giving it my all. And it wouldn't matter where I was at in the building, man. I'd be giving it my all for sure. And I hope that that's what we're seeing with all the staff that are out there. See, Ernesto, welcome, man. I like the new picture. That's what's up, man. AOC getting the start does not surprise me. He is a better passer than Minshew. And really, like, that's what I've been seeing in the tape breakdowns I've been watching, right? Is that, like, Aiden O'Connell is a better passer, and given a full offseason and, starting reps, things like that, or competition reps, I really think that his passing ability is going to get even better. We saw a lot of times where he was overthrowing guys, right? Throwing a little bit high. And those are really dangerous because those can turn into picks. Those can turn into tip balls that somebody comes down with. That's not in the silver and black, and we really don't want to see that, right? So I think that he's going to be able to fine tune some of those mistakes that he's been making, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really interested to see what his pocket presence looks like too, man. His pocket awareness. Everybody, if you want to get attention on questions, use the hashtag or at True Raider Podcast. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Let's see. Did you notice that he shut down a reporter about Arnold? Yeah, he said he only talks about Raiders, and like, I don't really know what happened in that situation. One of the big things that stood out to me is what he said is, and I have it here because I posted it on my Facebook. It says, when Antonio Pierce was asked on pick 13, he said, when Bowers fell to number 13, it was a no-brainer, right? And I don't think that he's going to say that if it was a coin flip, right? And, okay, could I see a situation where Antonio Pierce probably called Terrion Arnold? Yes, I could see that, right? I don't think that we're ever going to get AP's opinion on that. because he shut it down. But really, I think that whole coin flip thing, it could have been a toss up, or it could have just been the wording he used, where it was like, we're looking at, is it going to be Bowers or is it going to be Arnold, right? And it could be that, that there was more discussion than what they're leading us to believe. But, what he said was that they had the pick ready before they were even on the clock, and so I really think that just that they were probably going to go Arnold once the quarterbacks came off the board, but then just seeing that Bowers fell to 13, it was like, well, wait a minute, we got to get this guy. And AP really spoke highly of him in that presser, and so um, I think Bowers is going to be those weapons that we're really grateful that we have moving forward. They were talking about the what is it? Jeez, it's leaving my brain, man. The 12-man. Jeez, having a brain fart right now. And he was asked about that, right? Is like, did he play against that a lot in his time? He said in the early 2000s that it was a little bit different. And so, like the way that looked was different and it didn't really come out the same. And so, really being able to, if somebody can think of the term, man, I lost the term. Because I want to say 12-man set, but that's not the term. But anyway, like really being able to have that ran, and it confirms that that's what they're going to be running. I really think is going to be a game changer for us. Jamokes always with the AOC 12 MVP incoming. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. You've been saying it, and so if he gets it, you get the credit. All right. My 2 cents. Rooting AO12. But if Minshew gets the nod, I'll know he earned it. And that's exactly it, right? If Gardner Minshew does get that position, it's not just because, oh, we signed him to more money, or, oh, we're doing this, what I would hate to see is them give it to Minshew just in case, like if they're like, oh, well, he's the veteran, and so we wanted to give it to him and give Aiden O'Connell a little bit more time, right? Which, okay, like I could see the benefit in that, but I would really like it to be like he won. He won. And in another tape I was watching on the two quarterbacks, man, like the guy was talking about how it's a little bit more concerning if you have Aiden O'Connell start in those first games and then he ends up getting benched. Because if he ends up getting benched for Minshew, then that's like a clear cut, like, okay, this is not our guy. Whereas if it's the other way around and Garner Minshew gets the first couple of starts, and then he ends up getting benched for O'Connell, it's like, it's pretty clear Gardner Minshew's a journeyman. I don't think he's really going to be our quarterback of the future, but I mean, we've seen journeymen like, Rich Gannon come in and just end up with MVP seasons when they didn't really do well in their last couple of teams. So, I mean, I think that is kind of a toss up, but, I really think that you're right. My 2 cents, if Minshew gets it, that's going to mean he earned it. And I really hope that that's the case. Let's see, California Dave, Dilfer and Johnson both won Super Bowls on defensive led teams, and like it used to be that defense wins championships, right? And then something changed in there. I think it was really the Tom Brady thing where they're like, oh, well, Tom Brady wins championships. And then it all became about the quarterback. The quarterback wins championships. And yes, there's a lot of teams that have had these superstar quarterbacks and led them to Super Bowls. But like, one of the things that always pissed me off about Brady is that he got all the credit, because Brady always had these stacked rosters, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, right? Because I didn't follow the Patriots really strong, right? But what I saw when we would play against them was that like they seemed to like really be stacked on their offensive line. They always had at least pretty good defense, at least on the years that they were winning. They had these great tight ends, they really like had some good players on the field, and so like when you have like a good team built around you, I think that you could have inserted a lot of quarterbacks into that system that would have succeeded. Now, would they have done as good as Tom Brady? Maybe not, you know, but I mean, I really think that speaks for a lot when you have such a stacked roster that your team is going to succeed, and there isn't really any arguments about that, right? And at least that I've seen, where people were saying like, oh, the Raiders don't have a good roster, they're gonna They're not going to do well this year. Everybody's saying, "Oh, the quarterback room. They don't have a quarterback," And so if that's like our only issue, I really think that these quarterbacks can succeed in that system. And if they can't, it's going to be very clear that we need to pick up somebody else. Because I mean, this roster, it's stacked, man. This is the most stacked roster I've seen us have, and I can't even remember the last time I was so hyped about our roster, honestly. Probably early 2000s. That's at least my opinion. Let's see, I want the lunch ladies in competition. I hear the UDFA Gertrude Smith makes a badass lasagna. There we go, man. Everybody. And there's been like a lot of talk about our UDFAs too, man, of that like we really scored on a couple guys. And that's something that Telesco's done in the past is bring in UDFAs that turn into starters. Um, so I'm interested to see what that's gonna look like, man. Even some of our late round picks, man, Trey Taylor. We got a couple of good ones. UDFA Kim Sanders makes a mean meatloaf. Let's go, man. Let's go. Raider Paul, man, welcome, man. I'm glad you made it. Let's see, man. 12 personnel. Thank you, Nav, man. I couldn't think of it, man. I was like, what is that term? Yeah, that 12 personnel, right? And being able to run that 12 personnel was something that Antonio Pierce did confirm, you know, and I'm actually really excited about the idea of what this is going to look like because if our offense can take a significant step up because our defense won most of our games, right? And our offense showed up in a couple games. Like we scored 63 against the Chargers, and that wasn't all defense. So a lot of it was, but like really, our offense showed up in that game, right? So if our offense can really step it up with Luke Getsy, the 12 personnel running two tight ends, there's a lot of things that kind of show that our offense is going to step up their game. And if our offense steps up their game, there's so many of those games last year that we would have won. Like straight up, like, I mean, if we had just scored anything against the Vikings, if our offense would have showed up against the Bears, there's just a handful of games in there that's like, if we see that this year, that our offense actually puts up enough points, at least over 20, we're going to win those games, a lot of them. I'm really interested to see. We'll go over our schedule next week. I think that we'll do it on the Friday live because I believe it's getting released on Wednesday, on the 15th. So we'll go over it next Friday. I know other people are gonna break it down first, but that's all right. We'll go over it on Friday. California Dave, I'm not an X's and O's guys, but Myers, Bowers, and Lauby are going to cause problems for the opposition, and that's facts, man. And Lauby, he really could be in a position where he starts getting some play time this year. I would love to see that. I think that mostly he's going to start off on special teams. I think that he's going to be able to really like solidify his position on this roster through special teams. And then because he's a good gunner, he's a good returner. I mean, he's got a lot of good skills. And then with the new kickoff rules, I think that we're going to see a lot of good things out of him when it comes to that. And then I think that he's going to work his way in, and already there's talks about like, is Amir Abdullah going to get cut, and honestly, I don't think that it's really worth it to cut Amir Abdullah unless we really like it's between him and another person making the 53-man roster. But Amir Abdullah is on the bubble. He really is, and he knows it. He's got to know it. He's got to know that this is going to be his last year if he even makes the roster. But yeah, I mean, we got some guys, dude. We got some guys, and that's not even to mention Devontae Adams. That's not even mentioning Michael Mayer. Um, and when our running back room is considered like one of the weakest rooms that we have, right? But they're still good, man. They are still good. Lewis Martin, the OG, still has it on lock with the taco bar. Somebody's gonna have to give some competition in the taco bar room, man. Anthony Estrada. Hey man, Aiden, I believe, earns the job. Let him lead us to the promised land. Honestly, Aiden had a very promising rookie season. Some great games, some okay games, some games played like a rookie. And that's exactly it, right? He's a rookie. He was a rookie, right? And so he's gonna show up like a rookie. There were some inconsistencies, and like a lot of that got pointed out where it's like he made really good plays and really good throws, but it was inconsistent. It's like, yes, he's a rookie, and then I saw people arguing on social media, well, CJ Stroud showed up and blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, that's CJ Stroud. Like he was the second overall pick. Aiden O'Connell was not even in the first round. He was a fourth rounder. So I don't really think that the two are comparable, except for the fact that Aiden O'Connell did a lot better than most of the rookie quarterbacks that were drafted last year. And I think that that speaks a lot. And I really think that he's going to step it up, man. What AP said in this presser really just makes it sound like Aiden O'Connell was putting in the work. And that's what we really need, right? We really need somebody that's going to show up and put in the work because, I mean, that's really what AP has been preaching, right? Showing up, doing the work, and beating out your competition. See, 18 on only 9 likes. That's all right, man. That's all right. And if you have not yet, please hit that like button. Let's get in that algorithm. Raider Paul is saying, let's go, Uncle Rico. Yo, man. Either way, man. Either way, I think that we're in a good position. Let's see. Brady also won Super Bowls on defensive led teams. And one of the things that I saw with Brady, that I was hoping that we were going to see when it was coming up to the question with Derek Carr, right? Where Brady really he took team friendly deals for the most part, right? His cap hit was usually about 20 million, right? And that's when other quarterbacks that weren't as good as him were already making 45 million dollars. And like I really thought that Derek Carr was gonna go that route and like hey, let's have a small cap hit, that way we can feed the rest of the team. And that's not what we saw. And I think that that was one of the biggest contributing factors to us parting ways with him. Let's see. The Willie Imagine his years with the Patriots were epic. Honestly, I didn't follow the Patriots well enough to even know that name, man. I'm gonna be straight with you. I'm not even gonna try to pretend like I know what that name is. Have I heard that Cousin wants out? I have not heard that on any official report. I've seen a lot of rumors where Kirk Cousins is pissed off and he wants out, but yeah, that would be a smart move by him because he'd get a guaranteed $100 million even if he never plays a snap for them. So, like, yeah, if he can move on and go to another team, get that $100 million plus the new contract, and Kirk Cousins isn't going to go in and play like a Russell Wilson on a little tiny deal. He's not going to take the vet minimum. He's going to get another big contract wherever he goes, right? And do I think Kirk Cousins would be better in our offense than Aiden O'Connell? I think so. I mean, he's a veteran. He's proven. He hasn't won shit, but he's a veteran and he's proven. But for him to come in and us have to pay him that kind of money, plus you'd have to trade for him and lose a lot of draft capital. I don't see a world where that ends up happening, man. So, but yeah, that whole, I've talked to some, actually, there's only one Falcons fan at my work, but I was talking to him about that whole move and he's pissed, man. He's like, I can't believe that we went out and got Penix. He's like, Penix is a good player. He's like, but why right after signing Kirk Cousins? He's like, it just makes no sense. I told him he either screwed us or he helped us. Well, time will tell on that one. Let's see. I think that's all BS for Cousins. The contract will not fit anyone in the NFL but the Broncos. Man, and the Broncos, they're all about Bo Nix, man. And I don't really know why. I really don't know why. I'm just glad that we didn't get him, man. Bo Nix was definitely somebody that I did not want. And I was kind of hoping that he went to the Broncos, And so if he shows out and becomes this great QB for the Broncos and they start just taking over the division, well, I'm gonna have to eat my words on that one, right? But it is what it is. Probably just to pump the fan base. Yeah, I think you're right on that one. Let's see. My 2 cents before draft said wide receiver Tucker and tight end Mayer would rise up in 2024. Standing by that, many seem to be moving on from Mayer, but now he's got motivation to ball out. And I think that a lot of people are kind of like in this spot where they think just because we got Brock Bowers that Michael Mayer's on his way out. And that's not the case. Like why would you Michael Mayer is a great player, right? The only reason why he wasn't winning that award for best tight end was because Brock Bowers beat him out 2 years in a row, right? So there's number one and number two tight ends in college football for the last couple of years. So now we have both of them, and I think that we're going to utilize both of them. And Mayer's more up to NFL speed. He's got more experience, with our players. He's got better timing with if O'Connell gets that position, right? So I think that we're going to still utilize Mayer. I think that we're going to utilize them both. It'd be hard to say which one is going to end up getting more receptions. And then a lot of people were talking about that we should trade Tucker and all this stuff. No, no, we shouldn't. We shouldn't move on from Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker is young. Yeah, he's small, but that doesn't really matter, man. Michael Gallup is not our future, and neither is Jalen Guyton. Those guys are not our future. Those guys are going to be behind Trey Tucker, and I'm calling it since now. Trey Tucker, he's fast. He's got good timing with O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell really went to Trey Tucker anytime that he was in trouble. They have a better rapport, and I really think that that's going to be one of those players that stays on our roster for a while. I'd love for him to develop to a point where we re-sign him after his rookie deal. See, California Dave, I've been watching a lot of tape on Lauby and Bowers. You can line them up anywhere, and like I really think that both of them have a playing style that's a lot like Christian McCaffrey, right? Now, I'm not saying that either of them is going to be on that level, but I think that both of them have that same kind of skill set, right? And so being able to play them in that way, I think that they're going to get a lot of winning reps because of that. Navman believes that the NFL will be on notice for both tight ends on the field. And that's really going to be a huge kicker, right? Because who are you going to guard? Let's say we have Mayer and Bowers out there, Devontae and Jacoby Myers, right? All four of them, like that's tough, And then if we're running like a 5 set and you have Trey Tucker out there deep, it's like you can't cover somebody's going to be open. Somebody's going to be open, man. Excited for that. California Dave, love having you here. Your insight is on point, and I love that, man, because like if we don't have that in the chat, I mean, I'm not, like I've said on my channel, I'm not a football expert. I'm a Raiders fan. That's simply just where it is, right? And so you guys get to bring in these insights and these views and things to talk about and make me look at things differently, right? And I love that, man, because that's what this is, man. This is a conversation, Ernesto, also never been a fan of Justin Fields. I was relieved when he was traded to Pittsburgh. I heard he is going to return kicks for the Steelers. I did see that too, man, that they were talking about him on special teams with that new kickoff rule. And I don't know if that was fake or what, man, but yeah, dude, like I was saying that we should go get him just because he was going to be cheap. But I didn't want him to just be the clear-cut starter. I just thought that it would be good to have him for the QB room competition. Because it could be that he just wasn't being utilized correctly out there. But with Luke Getsy being our OC, I think it showed, or they did supposedly try to get him, right? And the report was that that we tried to get Justin Fields and they were asking too much. And so then we ended up going get Gardner Minshew. And then after we got Gardner Minshew, the Bears realized, oh, we're not going to get shit for Fields. Let's let him go for cheap. And that they called us back, and that the Raiders said, nah, we already picked up Gardner Minshew. We don't need Fields also. And I like that, like we didn't overpay for a guy like that. And I think that just kind of shows that, like, if Luke Getsy still wanted him, that shows that, it wasn't all dead there. But there's a lot of debate on whether, Luke Getsy is a bad OC, Justin Fields is a bad quarterback, or if the two just didn't fit together. And I think that we're going to see more as time will tell. See, CJ Stroud had a full training camp and first starting reps, so he will do better. Yeah, exactly, man. And that's just how it is. And Aiden O'Connell didn't have that same luxury at all. Sure, I hear AP has hands behind his back on the wall, but look, Harbaugh couldn't ever win the big game in the league. Sean Payton only championship, and I believe '09. And Andy Redden AP I trust. I missed the context on that, man. But honestly, like there's a lot of guys like at my work that are roasting me, man, that are just like, oh, like you guys don't stand a chance because you guys got Antonio Pierce, who has like almost no experience, and then they're talking about being in there with Andy Reid, um, Sean Payton, and then Jim Harbaugh, and that we're toast. And really, I don't think that's the case. I think that um, we're at least going to beat out the Broncos and Chargers this year, and I think that we're going to give Kansas City a run for their money. Honestly, yeah, Justin Fields was a one read QB, then run. Both the QBs that we have, they go through their progressions, their multiple reads, and I'm really happy with what I see with that. Virginia, you back in here, man? Why are you in here, man? You a Chiefs fan? Get that off the screen, honestly. You're moving up in the world. The Chiefs fan has arrived. Well done. Man, I don't know what's going on with all that. You know, I honestly I have never been on a Kansas City Chiefs podcast in my life. But I always see them jumping onto ours, onto our pressers, onto, like other guys that are doing it. Like, I don't understand that, man. That's just not how I roll. See, 939, man. Yeah, man. You see, we just got to block out all the haters, ESPN reports, NFL Network reports, and these Chiefs fans that want to be in the chat too, right? Yeah. And that's exactly right now, man. Kelsey is the best tight end until proven otherwise, right? I don't think that Bowers is going to show up and just be better than Travis Kelsey year one. I don't think that Michael Mayer is going to be better than Travis Kelsey year two. That's just what it is, right? It is what it is. Yeah, man. NFL been hating on us for years, and I really think that has a lot to do with the whole lawsuit with Al Davis. It just seems like things took a turn somewhere. Yeah, McCaffrey-ish. I like that. McCaffrey-ish. It's not an exact, but I was watching, and I've talked about it before, but I was watching after we drafted Bowers, I was like, damn, like he kind of moves like Christian McCaffrey. And so I pulled up tape on both of them and I was watching it side by side. And it was like, damn, dude, like a lot of the same kind of stuff. I was really happy with what I see there. It's been the nation versus the league, right? Like Max Crosby says, there's 31 NFL teams and then there's the Raiders. And FKC. Definitely FKC. All right, California Dave. Salute to you, man. I'll catch you on the next one. Nav, man, I appreciate you. Everyone, show love to the True Raider podcast with the subscribes and likes. Wipe those feet, folks. I want to see the real Raider fans succeed. Help me out. Yeah, I appreciate you, Nav, man. I really, really appreciate you. We're coming up on 400, man. We're coming up on 400 real quick. I'm starting to get pretty excited about that, man. This has grown a lot faster than I thought. I started the channel in like mid-February, and honestly, I didn't even have the equipment. If you look back on old videos I was putting up, they're really awful. I was like trying to record audio on my phone and then just putting like clips of like Raiders highlights, and then I started I picked up on a laptop, and then I started trying to do it like that, and like I didn't have a green screen, I didn't have a light, and it looks rough, man. It looks rough, and I just like started picking up a piece here and a piece there, and it's like starting to put it together, man. And I really feel like I've got my equipment at least on point for the most part. Um and yeah, man, I'm really happy with where it's going. Shout out to you, Nav, man. Appreciate it. See, it was the head coach that had Justin Fields back. Yeah, I don't really know about all that, man. But I think that when it all came out in the wash, I'm glad that we didn't get him either, honestly. But he might show out for the Steelers, and then we might be kind of singing a different tune, and that's going to be an interesting battle over there. My wife is a Steelers fan. I'm working on her right now. I don't want to say it too loud, but she's starting to come around with the Raiders, man. She really is. Let's see, how is the nation today, Mr. Lion, man? Me personally, I'm doing fantastic. It's Friday. I don't got work today, man. A lot of good things happening in life. My daughter has a basketball game later. I had to bust out the Devontae Adams jersey. She's number 17. Wanted to represent. Um, yeah, man. Good day, dude. Good day for sure. Yeah, as long anybody can come up in the chat. Honestly, man, I ain't got no beef with anybody. We can debate whatever, but once people start being disrespectful, nah, we don't need that. I think that's the second time Virginia popped up in here. Just kind of says some stuff about the Chiefs and then dips out. Surprised that I popped up on suggested videos, I guess. I don't know what she's searching. I know that on a lot of like the Raider groups I'm in on Facebook, like there's like not Raider groups, they are AFC West groups. Like you'll see like fans of the Chiefs always like talking smack on the Raiders, and it's like, man, we really live in y'all head rent free, right? Yeah, let's keep this podcast going. I'm telling you guys, man, like the channel's building, and I wasn't really sure I was going to stick around at first. I was just like, well, let's just give it a try. But it's gaining enough momentum that I'm going to keep putting on lives. I don't know if I'm going to do the short videos anymore. I started off with short videos. It's kind of hard to go live when you have like 50 followers, or 50 subs rather. But yeah, man, I mean, I like doing the lives a lot more, and I'm going to keep doing it, man, at least 2-3 times a week. So yeah, sure, no experience. He battles with the entire AFC West. Look, he smoked the Bolts boots, shocked KC on Christmas. Dude, I mean, that's a big one, right? Aiden O'Connell, he really showed out really big in a lot of games. The Kansas City one, I mean, he it wasn't because of him that we won. He also didn't lose the game for us, right? He didn't go out there and make some dumb mistakes. He listened to his coach who said, look, don't go give away the ball. Let's just keep from getting turnovers, let our defense do their thing, and it worked. Right. And then against the Chargers, like Aiden O'Connell was cooking, man. It was like every like turn, man. It was like I was fucking yelling again, and my wife was just like kept popping in like, damn, you guys score again. I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like screaming again. She's like, it's been like 2 minutes. What happened? You guys scored again? I'm like, yeah. Like it was like crazy, man. Super crazy. That was like one of the most fun games I've ever seen in my life, man. I love that shit, man. And my 2 cents says the Lion doing dandy. Doing dandy. Man, that's making me hungry, man. There's a place over here called Dandy Burger, man, and that just made me think I haven't eaten all day. Might want to go do that. James Williams, man, welcome back. Welcome back. Great show. Keep growing. Appreciate it, man. Um, yeah, man. So for Twitter, Instagram, if you look in the description of the video, I put my Facebook link. I got Instagram, Twitter. I even started a TikTok, which I'm not really sure if I even want to mess with that. But I noticed I was, doing a lot of short videos on Facebook. and on YouTube. And so I started just kind of posting them everywhere just to see, like, put the feelers out there, see where Raider Nation really wants to show up. And I don't know which of those is going to continue. I know the Facebook one is really growing. It's got like almost 600 likes already. So I'm definitely going to be active on Facebook, and we'll see which of the other ones really grows. Twitter, I don't even think I have any followers. Instagram, I think I got like 6. So really I'm most active on Facebook, man. So, and I also put my email in there. So if you guys want to get a hold of me, email is probably the best way. Because I check the email pretty often. As far as like Facebook messages or Instagram, I don't really check those very often. I'll try to get better at that. But yeah, check that out. Kenny Raiders, new to the channel, salute to your podcast. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Glad you found us. Let's see, man. When I met my wife, she was a Cowboys fan. Now she's a full-fledged Raiders fan. There we go, man. Gotta convert them, man. Gotta convert them. My kid, my mother-in-law got him, man. He's a Dolphins fan, right? But during the draft, I'm sitting there during the draft and I'm like glued to the TV, and he comes in and he's holding a football and he's wearing, because I bought him a Raiders shirt and he had never worn it, right? Just hopeful, right? Wishful thinking. And he shows up wearing his Raiders shirt and he's like, "Dad, can we go play catch?" And it was just like, we were about to pick even, I think it was like the third round. I was like, "Yeah, dude, of course we can." He knew how to get me, man. And so we went out and we played catch, man. But my wife, she's starting to come around. We're talking about going to a Raiders game this year, and I don't know, man. I think she wants to go when we play the Steelers, which kind of sucks because I'd like to get her in a Raider game when we're not playing this. You can feel what it feels like to really root for the Raiders. We'll see how that goes, man. Um, Let me see. Yeah, man. I know that on the computer, if I put an at and I start typing in their name, then it pops up and it makes it really easy to chat towards people. But when I do it on my phone, it doesn't really give that option. I'll just go ahead and do the at and then their name anyway. That way they know who I'm talking to. But for some reason, it doesn't pop up to where you can like click the little box. We almost went to that Sunday night game last year. A friend of mine, his I want to say it was his aunt or somebody has season tickets, right? And she was selling the tickets, and I was looking at it, and it was like kind of like, I don't know, I think it was like 4 or 5 days before the game, man. And we were looking at it, we're talking about doing it, and ultimately it didn't work out. And so we didn't end up going. And then we ended up losing. So I was like, damn, I'm glad that we didn't go, man. I'd have been pretty upset. But man, I got to make it to a game this year. I think I want to go to a home game, honestly. But the closest place for me to go to a game would be Denver. I'm in New Mexico. Denver is probably about 4 or 5 hours away. So I was thinking about maybe hitting a game out there, but I don't know, man. Being surrounded by all them donkeys, dude. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, Ernesto saying to block Virginia. Um, she's just mad that we have the largest fan base. All them. There's some like old school, diehard Kansas City fans, but not a lot of them. Most of them are pretty new, man. And you see it, man. It's all the people that were wearing Patriots jerseys a couple years ago. Now they're wearing Kansas City jerseys, whatever, man. I'm just glad that we don't really have any of those in New Mexico, man. Like I like almost never run into a Chiefs fan. And we have a ton of Raiders fans out here. Espanola, Santa Fe, Albuquerque. There's a ton of Raiders fans, but mostly what we have is Broncos and Cowboys fans, man. It's brutal, dude. Brutal. See, yeah, enjoying the debate. Personally, if it becomes assholeness, I'll make sure that they're gone along with Chris for Raiders. Why is Chris gonna go, man? Oh man. Let's see. Oh, okay. You're agreeing with it, man. I thought you were gonna give him the boot. Let's see, Anthony. with this defense from last year to this year, I honestly don't believe this defense gives up more than 27 points a game this season. You know, the fact that we went in ranked 28th after the draft last year in defense, and this year we're going in ranked number 8th defense, like that's huge. That's huge just in itself. You know, and if our defense really continues to show up in that fashion, yeah, honestly, I think we're gonna make the playoffs. Danny Burger does sound fire, bro. They got some good stuff, man. They got some good green chili stew. They got these things called banditos, and it's like green chili. If you guys never had green chili from New Mexico, you got to give it a try. That shit is fire. But it's got green chili and cheese, and then we add whole beans to it, man, and it's deep fried. Dude, it's legit, bro. Then they got this like old tow truck out there that looks like tow mater. It's funny, dude. It's the on Facebook. The link is in the description, but if you're just looking it up, it's under True Raider. Um, I started out as True Raider, and then it was like, well, people don't really know what I'm actually doing, right? And so I added podcasts to that. That way, it's like True Raider podcast, and it's very clear what's happening. And I've tried to change the name on Facebook, and it like I don't know what's up with Facebook, man. It's not letting me. It gives me the option, but then when I click on the box, it just like glitches out and does stupid stuff. So yeah, you can find me under True Raider or look in the description. The link is down there. If I put a link in that description, just know it's safe. I'm not going to give you guys any kind of weird stuff. I'm not trying to do the nation like that. I wouldn't even do Kansas City fans like that. Not trying to do nobody dirty, man. See, see if you can figure out how to put your IG in the live. I'm going off of StreamYard right now, so I don't have the stuff on here where I can just copy and paste it, man. But yeah, it's in the description. Oh, go live on IG. It said I needed some code, and then it said it would only let me do live there for 1 hour, and then it would cut off. And a lot of times we're going an hour and a half, 2 hours, and so I really didn't want to set that up like that. But if you really think it's worth doing, man, I could check it out. Right now we're live on Twitter. We're also live on Facebook, which is like really weird to me that we can do all three of those at the same time. It even looks like it cut off on Facebook. Let me see. Oh no, it's still going. Yeah, it's super strange to me, man. I'm starting to figure this kind of stuff out. Um, but yeah, I'll see if I can hook up the. I couldn't figure out. It wanted some verification code, and I didn't know how to get that, man. Or stream key, I think is what it's called. It was weird, man. Hey, do you guys remember our wide receiver Zay Jones? He just signed with the Arizona Cardinals. Oh, okay. I was wondering where he was going to end up. A lot of teams were looking at him. He was pretty good, man. Cardinals definitely need a receiver. Kyler Murray, man, that dude's career is going to be in the dumps if they don't start stacking that roster, man. Let's see. I'm taking Raider D in fantasy for sure. Others are going to sorry they didn't. What, you playing against Raider D in fantasy, or what's going on with that, man? Ooh, this is nasty work, man. My wife is a 49er fan, but she will root for the Raiders and buy me gear. Hey, that's what's up, man. And we kind of have this thing too, right? Like where if the Steelers are playing and they're not playing against the Raiders, I'll go ahead and root for them. I'm not gonna wear any Steelers shit, that's for sure. But I'll want them to win. But if they're playing against the Raiders, then we go to war, and same with my son and the Dolphins, man. If we're not playing against each other, sure, we'll root for each other's team. But you know, honestly, he's only 8 and he doesn't really watch full games, and so he doesn't really like to watch Dolphins games when they're not playing against the Raiders. But when they are playing the Raiders, man, he gets all hyped up, man, and he gets in my face and everything. He's funny, dude. Super funny. Uh, yeah, I don't really know what was going on, what went south with Zay. There was just like a lot of things during that time that I don't know, just didn't really pan out the way that I think that they could have, with a lot of players. Let's see. Do. Okay, I live in Arizona, and I believe there are more Raiders fans out here than Cardinals fans. And I don't blame them, man, because it's the Raiders. Anytime I go out to Arizona, I have seen a couple of Raiders fans, but I honestly have never run into somebody wearing Cardinal stuff out there. And I've never gone during football season, and like, there's only a few of us that in the month of May we're out here, still representing. Like, I don't just put on a costume for the live. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm wearing today. um, Heck, I even went and picked up some of them Raiders Nikes. They went on sale. They were like 50% off. I scored them for like $70, man. I was pumped. If you guys haven't checked that out, they're like the Nike Pegasus. And they got a little Raiders logo on the side, and that says Raiders on the tongue. It's legit, man. Let's see, man. I'm gonna try to go to my first ever Raiders game this year as well. Call me crazy. I've been a Raiders fan for 25 years. Still haven't been to Oakland or the Vegas Stadium. Anthony, I'm in that same boat, man. I've been a Raiders fan since 2001. Um, I was 14 years old, man. I've never been to a Raiders game, which sucks. Sucks, right? That's why I'm like, I got to make it happen this year. Like a year and a half ago, I was in Vegas, man, and I really wanted to go see the stadium. And the way our schedule was, it was like really, really tight. And like, I wasn't able to go, man. And I was pissed off about it, man. I really was. I really wish that like I had thought about it sooner. Like, I don't know, I thought about it like a couple days before we left, and I was like, oh shit, like you could do a tour. I should set that up. And then like I looked at the schedule, and it wasn't gonna work out, man. I was really pissed off at myself for that one, man. So yeah, we definitely got to make it to a game this year. And if I'm going to a game, I'll let you guys know. Maybe we'll run into each other. That's what's up. I would love to meet more of the nation. Let's see. Best Raider game you went to, my 2 cents. Thursday night football at OCO. Raiders beat Chiefs with 3 plays after the game ended due to penalties. Chiefs fans behind us bounced quick after talking that shit all game. Man, I would love to go see us play the Chiefs. But man, they've had our number for a couple of years, man, and that sucks to go pay all that money just to watch an L, dude. Um, but really, I think that this year we stand a better chance. At like, because really, like every year we beat the Broncos twice, and then we split it with the Chargers, and then the Chiefs beat us twice. Now this last year, we beat the Broncos twice, we split it with the Chargers, and then we split it with the Chiefs. And really, this year, I think we're going to beat out the Broncos. We're going to beat out the Chargers. And my prediction is that we'll split it with the Chiefs. We'll win one. They'll win one. That's what I think is going to happen this year. Oh, I get it. You were talking about the Raider defense. I thought you were talking about Raider D podcast. Okay. Highest ranked D we had was 11 a long time ago. Right. And now we're number 8. Number 8, dude. That's what's up. Just subscribe to you. You seem like a calm Raider fan. That's what I'm looking for. I was subscribed to a couple content creators, but too much freaking drama. There was getting crazy. I had to unsub. For me, man, like, I don't like the whole like clickbait stuff. I don't like the fear mongering. I don't like the gimmick stuff. I don't want to do that kind of stuff. If other content creators want to do that, like that's their thing, and I don't got any hate towards them at all. That's just not what I want to do. Like really the guys that when I watch and I always love their content is Graphic Raider and Wasted Talent. Those two dudes, like every time I'm on their live, like it's always just good, solid content, no bullshit, no gimmicks. It's just straight up like Raider fans giving good content. And I love that, because like, yeah, you watch some of these guys that, do the whole conspiracy stuff and all that, and they end up with a ton of subs. But for me, I'm not in it for the subs, right? Like, would it be nice to become monetized and have some secondary income? Yeah, of course, man. I have a family of 4. I'm the only one with an income in my family. I would love to support my family better, right? But I'm not just here for the money, man. I'm here because I love the Raiders and I want to be with Raider Nation and provide good, solid content. So I'm really grateful to hear that that's what's going on. Because if I ever go sideways, guys, and I start doing weird shit, call me out. Straight up, hit me up in the chat on it or send me an email and say, hey, dude, like you're doing some bullshit, right? Call me out. I'm not going to get mad. I take constructive criticism really well. That's one of the big things, man, is that like I want to hear what you guys are hearing on your end, because if I get on that bullshit, man, or maybe Armando will call me out at work, man. I see you up in the chat, bro. Let's see. Hoping we play KC on week 1 and ruin their night. Dude, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. December 5th, 1993, I went to the Raiders versus Buffalo Bills. It was cold as hell. Raiders won 25-24. Man, a tight game too, man. That's what's up. See, my first NFL game was Raiders versus Chiefs at the LA Coliseum, 1993. Became a fan immediately. Man, 1993, I didn't know that, man. That's what's up. Let's see. Let's go to Denver. Raider Nation rolls deep to Denver too. That's true, man. I know a lot of Raider fans in Denver. Dude, yeah, let's plan it out, dude. I want to see. We're gonna get the schedule released next Wednesday. We could talk about it at work, man. And then if next Friday I'll go live again at the same time, and I really want to talk about the schedule and things like that. Maybe we'll get some early predictions, or I want to hear what you guys think about our schedule. Let's see what's up with that. Ernesto, a lot of people in Nation and myself want that Chiefs versus Raiders week 1 after their banner reveal destroy their dreams again. And like that's a big one, right? If we go in there and we can beat Kansas City week 1, that's going to change the trajectory of our whole season. Now, if we play the Chiefs week 1 and we lose, I don't think that's going to destroy us. I don't want to take an L week 1. Nobody does, right? And I really think if we get that Chiefs game week 1, that we're going to show up like crazy. I want to see that. Let's see. Raiders fans since 76-77 was at the Super Bowl Vikings versus Raiders. That is when I became a Raider fan. Dang, man, that's what's up, dude. Yeah, man. Some content creators just want subs and likes, and I get it, man. Like, like people take time away from their family to get on here and create content, and like they want to be able to get them clicks, get them views, make some money off it, right? And I don't hate on people for wanting to make money. That's just not the way I want to go about it. That's just not me, man. Bro, again, no hate toward you, but that's the person I'm talking about. I tried to be cool with Wasted and Hammer, but that fool pays their checks and I can't even chat with them. Man, that sucks to hear, because like those are some of the dudes that I've always gotten like some good content over there. So I'm sorry that you're having a bad experience there, man. There's some of these other guys that like I liked them at first when I first started watching content on YouTube. Not those two guys, but some other guys. I won't say names, but and then I just the more I started seeing, the more I was just like, I don't really like the direction they're going with that, and things kind of made me feel uncomfortable about it, man. So I'm sorry that that's your experience over there, man. So I think that we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up, man. I didn't want to be on for too long. I know Mitchell Renz is going to go on right now at 2. So if you guys want to jump over there, that's cool. I don't have affiliation with him, but I got to get to my daughter's basketball game. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, man. Let me see real quick. They have a lot of subs, sometimes 1,000 people on at the same time. And that's the nice thing about having a small channel, right? Is that I'm in a position where, we've only had like 23 people in the chat, and I can really click on everybody's chat and, really get some good conversation going, and I love that. Let's see, membership stuff is a turn off, but subs and likes help. Yeah, man. Like, and like, there's like channels that you can join and pay like a $3 thing a month or whatever. And that's just a great way for, to help content creators be in a position to continue making content, because, people, they take their time, they're away from their families to do this. And so like, I like that kind of stuff, but There's a couple of channels where I've gone ahead and joined their membership just because I want to help keep the lights on. Let's see. Yeah, guys, but let's go ahead and wrap it up. That's another TGI Raiders Friday live. I'll be on next week, same time. If you guys don't already know, I go on at 3 o'clock Eastern time. For me, it's 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I'll be on every Friday at that same time. Also, whenever there's news that pops up or whatever, I'll pop in for another live. I think this week I went live on Monday, and so just keep an eye out for all that. Definitely shout out to all you guys, the real ones that are staying up in the chat. Um, I'll be seeing you guys soon, man. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.